The initial experience began when I had been released from the hospital after being hit by a car. I was staying at my parents' home so they could care for me. We had company that day, and I had a 3-sided walker I was using. I felt nauseated and got up to go to the restroom to vomit, but as I stood up, I passed out. This is when I entered a dark area, not so much like a tunnel. It really didn't feel closed in, but more like a big, dark space. My husband's father, whom I had never met in waking life, but who had died 3 months after I began dating his son, met me here. I attended his funeral, but never saw or spoke with him. However, he met me on the other side and held my hand. I felt other presences around me, but could not distinguish them. At the end of the darkness, like looking outward into the distance, there was what seemed to be a mountain, and behind that mountain was the most outstandingly beautiful light. Words of our present knowledge cannot describe or do justice to the light's beauty. I wanted to go to the light very badly. I don't remember having a discussion with anyone, but I could hear my family trying to get an ambulance to the apartment. I could also hear my father and husband arguing, and my mother panicking and changing her clothes to ride with me in the ambulance to the hospital. I felt no desire or need to return to them, even though they were in a panic and scared for me. I just knew that all was going to be okay, and that they too would be okay. There was a great sense of peace and relief, as if all worries or responsibilities did not exist or were meaningless. I knew I was with my God, and I did not want to return to my earthly body and family. I looked back at the light once again, and the next moment, I was returned to my body. I was tingling all over, similar to how if you lay on your arm too long and the blood is cut off, and then you straighten it out, and it begins to tingle as the blood flows back into it. The ambulance arrived and took me to the hospital, and surgery was performed for a tubular pregnancy. Having only 1 pint of blood left in my body by the time I reached the hospital, I had almost bled to death internally. I was very angry with my God after this experience, because I did not understand why I had to come back. Now I am wiser, and know there were and still are things yet for me to do, and when I have finished, I will return to the love of my higher power, my God.